The American Rescue Plan that President Biden signed into law back in March sent out $1,400 checks. Now, this new budget plan that they're trying to pass in Congress, $3.5 trillion stimulus plan, this looks like could be possibly a fourth stimulus check. They're going to extend out a lot of the programs. Congress right now is meeting to try to get these things done and get these moving in the right direction, getting more stimulus. Plus, there's $600 that are coming out to these a couple of jobs out there that are getting stimulus checks, $600 stimulus checks. Also, there's a bunch of states that are getting more stimulus. $350 billion total went out to all the states. They're getting more stimulus checks. Those are going to be going out. $1,100 is going out this week. There's about 750,000 people that are going to be getting more stimulus checks going out this week. In the House of Representatives, there's a support act, and that act is trying to get more stimulus to people. But there is this 2,000 monthly payments that want to get out to trying to get this petition signed to where they can get more payments out to everybody. Plus, the unemployment claims are rising. That's going to give a lot of pressure to Congress to try to get this new stimulus bill passed and get it moving out the door. So that's what happens on the last stimulus. All the all the unemployment was going on. That's when it put a lot of pressure on Congress to get more stimulus. But for now, you have the debt ceiling. This is something that Congress goes back and forth with all the time. They're trying to get this debt ceiling raised. They do this every few years. They've done this forever, since the 60s. They just go back and forth. They talk about, they're going to run out of money and they're going to have to shut government down. They never do. So what they do is they put on this whole theater to try to get this debt ceiling raised. On the 18th is the last day to get this debt ceiling raised, and they're going to be able to get it raised. So Chuck Schumer is on the Senate floor talking about getting a vote tomorrow to do that. They need 10 Republicans in the Senate to get it done. The last, on the 17th, they'll come together. The Republicans will get enough votes, and then they will get that debt ceiling raised. The Republicans, they just don't want to raise the debt ceiling because they don't want to allow the government to continue to spend and add new programs. I mean, right now they're already $28 trillion in debt. They have so many liabilities. They have so many things they're trying to pay out. And so the Republicans don't want to vote on it. They don't want to get this done. If they can raise the debt ceiling up, then they'll probably get the budget plan, $3.5 trillion budget plan moved and moving out into the right direction. That is something that a lot of the Republicans don't want to vote on. Now, they have voted on the reconciliation bill. That's already been passed. That's going to be a jobs plan, and then you have the American Families Plan inside of this new $3.5 trillion budget plan. It's good news for a lot of different workers out there. $600 checks are going to be going out. Part of the American Rescue Plan, the $1,400 payments. There was also this plan in there to send out payments to U.S. farmers as well as countries' meat packing workforce, and a portion of that money totaling up to $20 million is going to grocery store workers. So if you're part of the farm workers or meat packing workforce or the grocery store workers, looks like $600 checks are going to be going out to those that are in that industry. This is nationwide, so it's not state by state. It says rather than the IRS sending these payments out, some of the states, agencies, nonprofit, and tribal governments will be sending these monthly payments out to everybody. So look for those if you are in that category. Says we recognize that our farm workers, meatpacking workers, and grocery workers overcome unprecedented challenges and took on significant personal risk to ensure Americans could feed and sustain their families throughout this pandemic. So if you are part of that, you'll be getting that $600 check here coming out soon. Some of the other states that are sending out stimulus checks, you have New Mexico sending out checks, about $750. Alaska is sending out more stimulus. They also have the annual wealth checks in there, so that's going to be more stimulus going out. You have places like Tennessee, Colorado, you have Florida, Georgia. These states are sending out $1,000 bonus checks to teachers. This is going to be a fourth stimulus check for them. Plus in Florida, EMT, police, firemen, they're all getting another $1,000 bonus. New York, $2.1 billion is set aside for, I think it's undocumented workers. People that made under than $26,000 will be getting a stimulus. Inside of this New York City, there's going to be $5,000 for artists. There's going to be money for cab drivers, and there's money for homeless in New York City. So $1,100 coming tomorrow for the Golden State stimulus. This is in California. 705 payments are going out on Tuesday. That is good news for a lot of people there. If you made less than $75,000, you qualify for that. You'll be getting a stimulus payment. $2.3 billion in pandemic relief aid is going out to the middle class or middle income California residents. So the state allocated 700 or 480 million to the Golden State stimulus effort, and that money is being distributed by the California Franchise Tax Board. So to get that, it's $600 payments going out, and if you had dependents, you get another $500. I don't think it's $500 for all your dependents like the federal government did, but I think it's just a one-time payment up to $1,100, and those checks are going out the door. So you have to live in California and you have to file your returns with the California Tax Board in that state. One of the things that's really kind of picking up steam is this monthly payments, these monthly stimulus payments. One of the things that you have this petition right here, which is $2,000 monthly payments. Also, you have in Congress is going to be the Support Act. The Support Act is something that the House of Representatives has put up. They put that up, and then they're going to be able to get maybe a reoccurring payment sent out to everybody. So that is something that's coming up. I don't know if they're going to push that into the $3.5 trillion budget plan. They might, but that's something that has potential to do that. I think a lot of the stuff, the stimulus payments and a lot of the new money that's going to be going out is going to be snuck into this big giant bill. I think Nancy Pelosi is going to put those in there, and she's going to be able to get more stimulus out. But I think she has to sneak it by the Republicans because they don't want to vote on it. So, and she said in the past that we have to vote on the bill to see what's in it. We have to see what's in the bill, which is crazy to me. I mean, why would you pass a bill if you don't know what's actually in it? But I think they're going to put a lot of pressure on Congress to get these monthly payments and reoccurring payments. Eventually, what will happen is it will be some type of universal basic income. It's just inevitable. The federal government will they'll print the money, they'll take that money and start to distribute it out to those that need it or that want it. It'll be something that some type of universal basic income, maybe $1,000 or $1,200 payments on a consistent monthly basis. The only way they're really going to be able to get this out there is if they let the Federal Reserve take over and let the Fed now coin maybe a centralized digital currency or some type of stable coin. If they can put an app in somebody's phone, they'll be able to put that money right into the app and let people spend it. So unemployment claims are rising right now. This puts a lot of pressure on Congress. The last 3 stimulus payments was based on the unemployment rate rising, and that's why, in fact, the first original stimulus payment that went out in March of 2020, that was due to the fact that unemployment rose to like 15%, which went crazy. But that's because a lot of the pandemic and everybody got freaked out, everybody closed down. That was an earlier stimulus plan. So as the unemployment claims start to continue to rise, it's going to put a lot of added pressure on Congress to try to get more stimulus and try to get those things moving in the right direction. I don't know if they're going to put this in the new bill. It's just a matter of them seeing that the unemployment claims are rising. The Federal Reserve is going to it's going to tell Congress, hey, you got to at least get some type of stimulus out. So we're going to have to see how that works out. But there's still a lot of stimulus going out right now. There's still a lot of states sending out money. In fact, the states have until December 31st to get more money out the door. So look for those payments to come to your bank account soon.